until you have someone that can look like you in a game, you forget how easy it is to be detached from somebody. And so if you have a game where it's, some superhero military dude, that's clearly not me. And subconsciously, I only identify with that character so much. But if it's someone that kind of looks like me, I'm like, oh, this is what it must be like if I were in a zombie apocalypse. This is what I would do. I can actually enact sort of that fantasy when I'm playing the game.
Yeah, and we want everyone who plays our game to have that feeling, right? We don't want just the Nathan Drakes of the world to play this game and say, oh, another chiseled jaw, white male who I can identify with. We want everyone to get that same feeling of like, this is me surviving the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I totally, when I play, I always, I pick someone who's looks kind of like me. If I have one in my community, I'm like, oh, yes, I will take her out. We're gonna go on an adventure. I might disregard her skills or what her abilities actually are. It's like, come on, me, let's go have some fun. And it feels really good.
On the flip side, I'm totally egalitarian. Whoever has the best stats, that's who I'm playing as. Maybe I don't identify with them as strongly, but, you've got Powerhouse? Great, I'm taking you out into the field. Maybe, who knows what you look like? I don't particularly care.
Yeah.
You're you, and you provide the value that is on your character sheet. And if I'm a woman, I'm a woman. If I'm a man, I'm a man.
I have a completely different approach as well, is that there are so many games with people that look like me in it that I sit down and play State of Decay, and it's like, yes, I can play as a black woman. This is fantastic. I'm going to pick you, and I'm going to play as you because I don't have an opportunity to do that very much.
That's true. We have had quite a few people reach out to us saying that this is the first game in which they can see themselves in one of the characters. And it doesn't necessarily need to be along gender or racial lines either. The trait system also gives you a unique way to identify and relate to someone. Mm-hmm. It's pretty unique.
Yeah, we have traits where characters have anxiety. And so if that is something you deal with, you're like, oh, I can identify with this person and their behaviors.
I think something that we definitely learned from our inclusive design sprint is the concept of inclusive design means designing with someone, not designing for someone. And so I think as we move forward with whatever projects are in our future, we're going to take that with us and try and be as inclusive as possible with people that we want to represent in the game. So include them in the process, find people to talk to and learn about their lives and take real anecdotes from real people and figure out a way to insert that into the game so that we can still be representative of a wide variety of people, but do it in a more authentic way than we ever have before.
Yeah. And some of the improvements we make that might immediately benefit, one population of gamers is we can design it in a way where it benefits everybody. Mm-hmm. So everybody can opt in and get that benefit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we have learned through releasing State of Decay 2 and its public reception, particularly to the inclusivity and diversity that we portray there, that's kind of a key pillar for our studio moving forward. I would be very surprised if we ever chose to clamp down instead of just broaden even farther, right? We're so proud of it. We're so happy we've done it. I just can't see that going anywhere.
There's so many easy wins we can get. Just talking to one of the engineers who did a lot of the audio settings, one of the pieces of feedback we got was, hey, it would be nice to have these additional toggles for effect sounds, environment sounds, like footstep sounds. And when I was talking to him, he basically said, that's not actually that much harder to do. We just need to know that that's the thing we want to expose.
Yeah, it's just an awareness thing, right?
We can just design it in, yeah.
The big thing is we don't know what we don't know. And so if we go out and actually talk to people and include them in our process as much as possible, we learn all kinds of things that we weren't even thinking about. And it's going to allow us to make that much more strong of a game, I think.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we definitely had to do very consciously on State of Decay 2, because we don't have necessarily as diverse of a development staff as the State of the World at large. So we had to consult many different people to create culturally appropriate name lists, backgrounds, and that work was really led by Jeffrey Card. But he was very boots on the ground, on the phone with people from around the world. I remember I was one lunch, I was like, who the heck is Jeffrey talking to? And it turns out he was on the phone with someone from Cambodia, talking through Cambodian names, and he's just listening to, okay, that's a name? Okay, what would be a nickname for that name? Okay, and so he's getting these direct sources to make sure that we're being very very faithful and authentic to the different groups that we're representing.
Yeah, he definitely did his homework.
Yeah, and he did things where like he'd Google a list of Cambodian names or something like that, and then hand them off to someone and say, "Does this make sense?" And he'd
validate.
he'd get feedback like, "Oh, well, if you put this and that together, it actually puts something you really don't want to say in your game. So take one of those out, and then also add, here are 12 more that aren't on your list that should be," stuff like that.
That you weren't even thinking about before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes the game a lot easier to identify with for players to interact with when you see someone who they either look like you or they have a trait that lines up with an experience you have. Maybe it's a profession, maybe it's just a past relationship you've had. It allows players to really get sucked into the game and get attached to the characters in this way. Mm-hmm. But in terms of gameplay as well, those unique traits, you are a community of characters, you're a cast, and how they intersect, the unique value each provides, they sum up to make a really, really strong play experience.